Wellity well. Oh, Christ. So yeah, here we go. We are relearning Houdini. Um, okay, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And also, the timing is it's Houdini 22 has just come out literally today, so it's a good time to do it. I do know Houdini to an extent, like a little bit. Like I'm not going from like zero, but I'm certainly not good with Houdini or fast. So I figured I'll just create a little project that I could probably do in an hour or two in C4D or any other bit of software. But I'll do it in Houdini and see how it goes and maybe learn some of the stuff that I had no bothered learning. I do love working with nodes, but I've always found Houdini to be quite slow and not very artistically driven. Not to say I do all my work with Houdini, but you know, whatever. We'll see how it goes. No promises of anything at all of any sort. Anyway, so let's have a look. Default. So yeah, the new Houdini's got like different like themes and shit. Purple's fun. Let's choose purple for now. Yeah, let's do that, and then we will do. I haven't got any recent files, but whatever. We are in Houdini. Look at that, wonderful. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, that's all working. That's all doing its thing. So right, what we're building. In fact, actually, probably should start with this, really, shouldn't I? Is let's go to milk. Is some a lot well because I do product shots a lot. I like product shots, so I want to do something based off of this because it's fun and it's see through. And yeah, I don't know what, but like this company, Milk, make cool looking cosmetics. So I'm going to do a cosmetics product shot or two. We'll see how far we're going to get with it. We'll see how far we get with this because I'm expecting it to be kind of slow. Because you know I'm not fast with Houdini, and see if I can also do the kind of workflow that I tend to do with this sort of thing nowadays, which is if it's a simple model, I don't model it properly. I just do like booleans into a VDB, and then basically remesh it, right? So like volume based remesh thing. Anyway, so I do know the base file that works, but I haven't really spent a lot of time with it or gotten really into the weeds with it. So we'll see. And I'm not very good at Houdini, so we'll find out. Right. So first off, do geometry. I'm going to build out. I'm going to make it super accurate. I'm going to build out this little twisty thing. So I know how this works. IRL. So I need to do like a couple of threads, and then inside here there's some mechanism. And really, I just want it to be see-through because I like see-through plastic. We're going to see how far we can get. If I can get as far as making a little animation or something. The idea is try and get the model down in a way that I'm happy with, then figure out texturing. That's like a little bit of using Copernicus, which sounds quite fun, and like a little bit of Solaris, which sounds like a pain in the ass. Basically, it's going to be pulling teeth. This is a project I would finish in the modeling in minutes, and then whatever scene, there'll be some time thinking about what scene I want to do. This part of the texture in like Octane would be very, very fast to make a very nice transparent plastic. And the makeup material would take a while. And then like if I was doing like these smudges or whatever I'm going to do, that would take an awful lot longer because they'd have to like simulate it and stuff. So that'd be time consuming. And the final render would be pretty quick, to be honest. So I could probably turn this around in a day or two. And most of that time be thinking about how to lay the scene out and some of the minutiae of like this sort of shimmery makeup material. It's called like plausible. Those are the bits that are difficult. The rest is obviously very straightforward. So yeah, let's first off make our little thing. So we're not going super accurate here. This is not going to be like a showpiece. So we do tube. I already do not like this theme actually. Color theme. It's the wrong kind of purple. It's not like fashion purple. This is more close to current contemporary fashionable purple. Let's not do that. Actually, fuck that. Highlight. We'll do this guy. Preview. Is that better? Oh, who cares? Anyway, tube, and then we'll go end caps. We'll go into here, columns, and we'll do 48. So this sort of workflow, let's do 64. normally requires a load of geometry. So if we just do this quickly, it'll be VDB VDB from polygons. Hook that up. Yeah, so we can see how rough this is, and the more geometry you have, so we can create the voxel size down, so 0.02, let's say, still very coarse. And on here, if we just do 128, it'll improve, but 001, getting better. And what's quite nice in Houdini, I think, is like the performance is very good. So 0.0005. And now we're looking like, yeah, whatever. And we can do a smooth. So smooth. That's not in the right place. It'd be VDB smooth, wouldn't it? VDB smooth. Is that before or after? I don't actually know. I think it'd be no. See, again, this is where my knowledge of VDB smooth, of just like navigating the viewport, is pretty bad. So do that. Oh, it goes after. There we go. So see, we can get to this. And then like these little striations and stuff, when you like remesh, so in C4D you can use Z-remesher. When you remesh, so let's just use the remesh, so quad remesher. Let's just do a convert. There we go. I think. There we go. So yeah, that's not bad. It's not perfect. So yeah, this is something where yeah, it's not good enough yet. So like yeah, Z remesher or Z remesher in C4D a bit better job of this. Let's change this down to like 3000. Way too high still. Yeah, see, that's just a tube. Get rid of that. Oh, function delete. Oops. Again, I'm not fast into it. Yeah, see, that's like not amazing. So and there's always more options in C4D. Like this in Houdini, you know. So let's just stick at this level for now. We'll stick now. Let's just do 0.01, and this should do a effectively, yeah, extremely good thing. So if I do a subdivision, where's subdivision surface under here? Don't know why it's not connecting. This was on Mac OS. Okay. Okay, and then why is that doing that? So we haven't got any loops. So how would we do that? We'd go to here, rows, make that like 20. There you go. And if we go back to here, that will then become better. In the cap though, how do we... I guess we could like manually add geometry to this cap. So what I would do is, I always forget I do this. They change these icons. That's fun. Like that. And then we're going to have, there we go. Okay, right. So if we just do, we'll go poly bevel. Do that. Excellent. Do that. Do that. Press enter, I think. And then we can just do, no. Oh, fuck's sake. Hang on. Groups, do this. Boop. Boop. Okay. 0 and 1. And then what we'll do is divisions. No, not divisions. Oh, hang on. Hang on. There you go. There you go. Okay, is that it? And then if you just do this, should be able to go like, there we go. Right. Oh no, wait, hang on. What's the equivalent inset in Houdini? Hang on. Let's just get rid of that. Keep pressing. Inset. What's the what's the modeling thing on? So geometry. Oh, geometry. Polygons. Hang on, geometry. Oh god, geometry polygons, and then we've got bevel. Extrude. Would it be an extrude inwards in here? Extrude old. I don't know what that. What's going on with that? Poly extrude. There we go. Poly extrude. Let's give that a go, and then just do group, dupe, and dupe, and enter. And then what we'll do is we should be able to. No. No. Oh no. Hey, there we go. Insert. Excellent. Well, that's on. Oh, okay. Oh, it's Modo style. All right. So if I no, what's that mean? Uh, I wish. I've not looked at the modeler plugin yet. I imagine it's fine. So yeah, there we go. So we've got that in set. That's great. And then subdivide we better. There we go. So we've got nicer caps now. And then go back into what? Okay. Back into my extrude. We will just do inset and we'll just reduce that a little bit. No. Huh, why is like hang on. So I'm buying all viewport handles. Let's do that. Hey, right, so yeah, so if I just do more, bind to viewport ladder handle. Okay, and then distance, let's do this. Bind to ladder handle, left click. Okay, well that's so yeah. This is like in Modo, there's a thing called channel hauling. So it works the same way as that, where you can sort of say, in fact, I'll just show you the temptation to just do. So like here's so the thing with this is where we're making this as convoluted as possible. I could model this properly in Modo pretty quickly, like for reals, properly without any of this VDB bullshit. The VDB stuff's great if you like fast and dirty and that sort of thing, and you get some nice flaws with it. Because where the point cloud conversion isn't always perfect, or like the VDB is not always perfect, which leads to sort of some happy accidents and stuff, which like I quite like. So the initial thing is worse. If you don't care much about the geometry, which I tend not to, because most of the time I want to sort of have everything be procedural if I can get away with it anyway. I would rather lay down a bunch of masks than bother fucking doing something properly, because lazy, smarter, not was it work harder, not smarter or something. I don't know. What work was it? Work something, not something. Let's change distance to 0, and then we get inset. So really, I would have figured that this, by setting this to this, is Modo started? It is. Yeah, so if I just like go into here and go and create, and then create myself like a cube. Let's do a tube. Let's do a tube in the same way, right? If I select my 2 points, in this case in Modo you can do it with the bevel tool, but whatever. So left hand is always this, right? So you can do shift is on left, and then inset. So you can do shift up and down, and then insert left and right, and see where these are. And I can come to here. So let's say like I want to go into a different tool. Let's just choose edit, and then yeah, polygon slice, whatever. Who cares? No, sorry, but let's do loop slice. yeah, so this has got some default binds as well. So I can then say like insets on middle mouse. So middle mouse up and down will do that. Middle mouse left and right will do some stuff. Oh, that's not going to work really there, is it? Let's just do with this. And then, yeah, let's do Alt C, loop slice. Yeah, so left will do this, middle will do this, you know, and then middle up and down will do this. Let's just do middle that way. Oh, is it going to crash? It's not going to crash. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's how that works in Modo. Anyway, we're doing bad things here, but yeah, that's channel hauling. So I thought it would work the same way as that. And if you're asking why I'm not just doing this in Modo, it's because Modo's sort of like kind of rotting, I guess. I might end up rendering in Modo because yeah, just cuz really, because I've got Octane. I love Octane. Octane's the best. So like, anyway, we'll close Modo for now. I would love to just carry on using Modo, but that's not practical for the future. So yeah, that's what it looks like to me. So it goes. Oh, hang on. What's that saying? Inset. Oh, that's okay. More. Unbind viewport UI. Yeah. So really, what does that mean? I'm getting distracted here. Bind viewport ladder handle. That just goes down to middle click anyway, right? What is a ladder handle? But we're not here because Houdini's modeling tools are the best. We've got a little value there. Let's just do distance turn to 0. Excellent. Right, anyway, enough of that. So yeah, now sub D will work better. Oh shit. Now our subdivision will work better. And if we come back down to here, hopefully, there we go. We've got a pretty okay PDB looking guy. So okay. Now I think so in the volume builder, can we just do subtract? VDB SDF subtract. So if I do that, a VDB, required a VDB, and then there's the thing to subtract from it, right? So if I just wham my VDB in here, like so, chuck that in there, and I'll just do I'll do a box, right? Can I then just do that? Will that then, do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. So go into my box, my box. That's an edit. Oh god. Delete. No, delete the edit. Oh god, how do I hang on. Okay. Whatever. So, what's the issue here? Not enough sources specified. What does that fucking mean? Oh no, there we go. So that has not done that. Does also need to be a VDB. So VDB VDB polygons. Okay, and then my edit, get rid of that. So now if I just go to my box and I'll just do a transform trans. There we go. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll just do translates. All right. Okay. All right. So that does work. So the thing I never know is that can you do a transform with the handles? Because I'd want to use the handles. I don't know. Anyway, that does work. So if we just go and then we just like rotate. Obviously that's very slow, but yeah, and then we'd need the box to have like divisions. I don't know how to make these do all the things at the same time. There you go, that'll improve it. And then if we, yeah, so does this need to be a VDB though? I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it does. So is it better to just do booleans, right? And then VDB at the end. So if I had, oh god, If I had C4D license at the minute, I would show you. The sheer temptation, because I'm a lazy boy, of just like, let's just do box. And then, yeah, we do boolean. And then, yeah, we'll grab that down there, and then this can go into there, and then that's going to be that, and then that's going to be like that, and then this is going to be, yeah, subtract A from B. So let's just do this. Boop. Okay, so what we're going to do is just subtract. Can I subtract B from A? Oh, yeah. See that VDB's pretty slow. So what we'll do, we'll just do center. Oh fuck. Yeah, we'll do center. Let's just look at this for a second. Center like that, right? Like that. Like that. Right? Like that. But actually, also, what we'll do, we'll just grab this and we'll just do center, and we'll just move that over a smidge. And then this box needs like a bunch of divisions. So divisions will be like, I don't know, 50, 45, 50. There we go. And then, yeah, center minus 0.3. All right, so excellent. And then minus 0.4. Let's just, yeah, let's just cut that out of there. Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will just go into our Boolean and we'll flip this over, B to A to B. And yeah, we've got the box cutting a hole out of this guy now. So onto VDB. Yeah. Yeah. So probably the faster way of doing it, instead of pissing about, is just do it with booleans, and then so yeah, inside C4D you've got this layer called the volume builder, right? It's a little bit imperfect because there's one annoying thing about the workflow, but yeah, once you create it, anything you put inside the group underneath it, or child, or anything it's a parent to, appears in a stack, and you've just got a list of things, and it just says, yeah, like parent child, and you can just be like subtract, union, whatever, intersect, and then you can smooth, and you can do like the interconnects between them, and then also you can add smoothing layers and stuff. It's got one weird quirk in the workflow where if you change the order of the stuff, so yeah, it's based on whatever's parented underneath it, or whatever's like a child of it, and if you change the order in the actual layer stack, it doesn't respect inside the list, inside the actual volume builder, which is but that's neither here nor there, because we're not in C4D. So yeah, so that's gonna work. I think it'll be pretty slow. Let's just look at the remesh again. So we'll just do convert. Let's give it. Let's do. Hang on, let's do this quickly. So what we'll do the thing that actually makes it not seem so crap, and that is what we'll do. We'll grab this tube, right, and then what we'll do is we'll grab ourselves a transform. Oh, transform. No. Oh my god. A trans. I could do the Houdini person who knows what the fuck they're doing. Trans. No, not reens. Can't spell. Trabs. Why isn't people watching you? You can't fucking type. Anyway, wham that in there. Right, and then we'll just look at this. So we'll just make this a bit smaller. A bit smaller. Let's do that. Like that. And then we do this. And then if we go into here and we just do R. And then translate, we will do one of those. There we go. Wonderful. And if we go into here, I think you can do, yeah, ghost other objects. Does that work? Show all up? I don't know. I don't know. We can. On this one, we do a transform. Just turn up its scale a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Wonderful. And then height is going to get lower on both of these. So I'm going to make the base of it. It's probably about that tall, I guess. And then this guy is going to be like, there we go. Oh, shit. I do quite like the one-handed. Oh fuck, the one hand. Let's go an even lower division. There we go. The one-handed transform thing. It's quite fun. And actually, should we just go view wireframe? There we go. I'll do. We actually want to be in wireframe today. Excellent. Right. So, and then we'll just bring that down a little bit more. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, and we'll just make the scale on this one a bit, make it a bit taller, and then we'll just bring it up a little bit further. It's annoying that you can't see these ghosted. Also worth noting that in Modo there's a famous, well, moderately famous workflow called Mesh Fusion, which I never got my head around. I should miss Modo. I should miss Modo. Right, so no time for that. So what we'll do, actually, we'll just set the uniform scale. No, let's leave it there. Let's do it actually. So yeah, that'll do for now. Excellent. That's about right. Okay, and let's look at our VDB again, and then, oh, look at that, beautiful. I think, actually, there's a thing we can do. Let's just do this, and then wireframe, smooth shaded. Right, I think there's a thing we can do with this. What is it? On the VDB, we've got... I don't understand what that does. It's like a... We can make it stick to the surface, I think. I don't know. Oh, please don't crash. So yeah, there's like so like you might be saying this to me like why are you doing this? And that's a really valid question. Um, it's a very valid question. It's because I like to like every time I become kind of like homeless software wise, like I try and like I've gotten to a point now where I try and replace it with like a good place to have like a permanent software home, right? Um, and in the case of like a bunch of other stuff, I've done that where it's like I know it's going to be sustainable, I know whatever. And recently, I can't actually currently justify the cost of C4D. As much as I really really love it, and it's kind of it's not perfect. There's things I would improve, but what was that? What happened there? There's things I would improve. Sphere primitive. I don't know what the difference is, but whatever. Yeah, there's things that I would improve. But actually, I don't really know the best way to lay out node graphs inside Houdini. I'm just sort of like, it feels like they run top to bottom, which I don't love. But a lot of people swear by this though, top to bottom running node graphs. But I prefer a bit of left to right, to be honest. Whatever. So we'll do yeah, because this is your child most thing, isn't it? So sphere. Yeah, so brilliant. Yeah. Is that right around? I don't even know. Let's look at this. Boop. Yeah, yeah, I don't like it when oh that does work. Okay. Yeah, when you become like sort of software homeless, I can't currently really justify the cost of C4D. And it's not perfect at all, but I am so tired of having to move 3D packages. And the thing about Houdini specifically is Houdini, the thing I love about it is if you say like if you ask the question of like can it do it, the answer is always yes. And it doesn't matter if you don't like, Blender's got its problems, and it's not turns into like a Blender bitching session, but Blender's main problem is like let's swap these around actually, these inputs. A from B. I don't know the optimal way of doing this, but whatever. Let's just do that. Did that work? No, because no geometry in the fucking cap. So how do I... Let's pull extrude. Yeah, so that's... Oh, fuck's sake. The fucking thing's a little bit like... Meh. Anyway, is that going to work? There we go. How do I... What, is there like a poke type command? Poke? Poke? I think I'm there. Let's just spend a few minutes on my diatribe about Blender. So, right, the problem, so there's problems, right? So Modo was nearly perfect, right? Very good renderer. The Modo default render is very good, but you know, old. The last few versions got bundled with Octane, which is my favorite renderer, which is fantastic. You don't have to pay for Octane, it's brilliant. It was imperfect. They had like, for modeling, pretty feature rich. I quite like the animation. I quite like the texturing workflow. The dynamics were quite good, not incredible. I don't do that much animation anyway, to be honest, but like I do basics like motion graphy type stuff. I don't do like rigging and shit. And yeah, like the workflow is great, and you know, some like the best modeling tools. It's by far the best modeler out there. It's not even close. And but yeah, it's dead. And it had problems like things as it's got procedures, it's got a procedural system which I don't really know super well, to be honest. But yeah, it's always buggy. It'd always been buggy for its entire history, and now the product's effectively been killed. And as contentious it is around the old internet, is actually if I do this with that 20 divisions, and if I do inset more, I can't divisions or anything, does it? 0. Oh, point normal. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. Divide into individual. No, connect elements. I think what I'd need to do is probably do another extrude in there. Anyway, yeah. So aside, and it's a very contentious thing around the internet and the ex users. Full disclosure, I used to work at the Foundry, and I worked there when Mono was bought by the Foundry from the company who built it in the first place, called Luxology. And I know a bunch about why it went the way it did in a lot of ways. I was gone from the Foundry by the time the product was killed. I'd left the Foundry like years ago, like 2000. Oh Jesus, like almost 10 years ago. Bloody hell, time flies. And anyway, so yeah, Modo's basically dying. So I was like, right, okay. And then for a while, I spent a bunch of time in Blender. Blender has some pretty big fundamental issues. For a start, usability is bad, UX is bad. It's a bit of a mess. It's not super fast. The geometry handling is not amazing. It's quite buggy. People don't talk about that much, but it is quite buggy. And also the massive reliance on third-party tooling, because the core tooling is quite deficient. The core modeling tools are quite good, actually very good, in fact. And it's got lots of very cool features, but the UX is quite bad. Hello. So yeah, you have to get all the plugins. Plugin systems and plugin like ecosystems die. Which means that, you know, what have I broken now? Broken something. What's my issue? Not enough sources. What? Let's get rid of that subdivision quickly. What am I making? So the whole point is like relearning or learning Houdini better and going very slowly. I'm gonna make a cosmetics product shot at about 1/50th the speed I normally would. Because this should take me a few minutes to model, or like half an hour, as I've been here half an hour already, and I've achieved nothing, so that's good. So, right. So what is it saying? What's my issue here? Not enough sources specified. That is not true. I don't need a spline. Okay, let's just redo this. Yes, this is incredibly slow. But actually, what we'll do is we'll just do poly extrude. Wham that on one of these. That one, why not? That actually should be going up. That should be powering both those. Oh, fun. There we go. Turn that on, and then, come on. Fine. So we'll go there. We'll go there, and then press enter, and then we should be able to. It's the wrong one. Inset. There we go. Distance. Change that to 0. But as I was sort of saying to myself before, yeah. So like, I don't want to be like homeless in tools anymore. So a little after leaving Blender, went back to Modo for a bit. I need to do another one there to give it. Can I like? So actually, what would be the right way to do that quickly? So just to turn that into like maybe like triangulate that or something or whatever. What would be the best way to do it? Geometry, polygons. Uh, Try divide. Give that a go. Yeah, sure. And then if we go into this tool here, grab that, press enter. What does that do? Don't know. Ah, that's not really that descriptive. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Right, so what would be the right way of doing that inside Houdini? Because I'm going to boolean out this here, right? So I've got a boolean here, first one, which should be working. There we go. So I've got a boolean here. Which was, there we go. What? Why is that not showing my mouse over the viewport? There we go. Right, cool. Yeah, boolean here. So I'm cutting a hole into this one. And then I've got a second one down. I put a little dent in the bottom of here. But where my cap here, there's nothing on it. So if we go into poly extrude here, my cap is just, I've been set a little bit because originally I had it in a subdivide, which I don't really need. Oh crap. Yeah. But yeah, like how would I then triangulate this, or like, you know, this central part, or like turn or poke it or whatever? So there's a thing, I'm not showing mode, but there's a thing where you can like turn it into quads, or do you know what I mean? That equivalent thing, is that very manual in Houdini, or do I have to, is that a tool that just does it, which feels like it should be? Because yeah, I don't got enough geometry to poke this hole through here, right? So I'm going to poke a little nipple using this sphere into this bottom guy. And then yeah, it goes from there into a VDB, which is not working. So let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm going to do that quickly so we can just see the end result. There we go. And then yeah, it goes into a VDB. And the idea is then you remesh the VDB. So it's a workflow I really like, that I use a lot in Cinema 4D at the minute, because it's quite nice, because not only is it like it's quick when you're just doing sort of like simple forms and stuff, but also like where VDBs are imperfect and like the quality of the end results imperfect, you get surface imperfections that are quite nice and quite natural. So I actually like the end result quite a lot, because it means that things are not perfect, but in a way that is quite nice. So little like dings and imperfections are quite easy to achieve. So it makes like what are mechanical models like this, for example, a bit easier to make a bit organic, which is why I like it. So, but the question at the minute is, how do I poke in this cap? So let's have a quick, let's hit up Google. In my case, Kaggy, because that's like, I don't care about the football. So Houdini convert n-gon to quads. Right? Is that the probably right way to phrase that? How do I transform huge n-gons into quads? Shit up. I'm a beginner. I was working in independent projects with my goal. This isn't Blender. Said Houdini. Damn you. What is it? Quadrangulate the model. Triangulate the model into quads. Unfortunately, not out of the box. Was this from 2015? Old information. Do more filtering based on some rules. Use a group SOP to subtract border edges from that list. Once you're happy, edge group dissolve them. Use divide to catch any polygons which may have multiple sides. A subdivide will turn everything to quads. Of course, you get 3 times the perimeters. That's okay. I've got the juice to do that. So, but yeah, that still won't. If I did a subdivision, that still wouldn't create polygons that weren't there before. It just creates more between those points, right? So sub. I could be janky. No, that'd be lame, right? That'd be I could do that. So I could just do. This is probably fucking cursed. Let's just quad remesh. I know. I'm going. There's some sort of hell for people like me. Wham that in there, right? And then which obviously makes our VDB much, much worse, but that's fine. Let's just look at this quickly. Do I get to see my geometry? No. Let's just do this and do wireframe ghost. Wow. Okay, that's not a great result, is it? That when I said organic, I didn't mean quite that, and that's still 10,000 pot. Let's just do this like down to 5,000 or like 1,000. The most wasteful way in the world of doing this. No, hang on. Let's use 1,000. Enter. There we go. Yeah, it's not great, is it? Alignment, adaptive, alignment. It is more difficult than Blender. It is more difficult than Blender. You get a lot of stuff in return though, compared to Blender. Like for example, well, I mean, look what I'm doing. So I've got quite high poly, got a pretty high poly object going into an extrude, going into a boolean, going to a quad remesh, going into a VDB. And this is not me stressing out Houdini at all. It has crazy abilities to handle complex scenes. Plus, you can do everything in Houdini without plugins, which is what I don't like about Blender. So, oh, that's awful. But, right, hypothetically now, from this quad remesh, I can go into here, do another boolean. This is definitely a curse workflow. Grab that, wham that in, get in there. There we go. And then grab our sphere, which is already in the right place, or should be at least. And then let's go into here, and we'll just do subtract A from B. We'll subtract B from A. Where is my... Well, that didn't work. Is it because what I'm doing is horrifically stupid? I think it is. The quad remesh should just be geometry, right? That should just output geometry. So let's just do a convert, just to be sure. Convert. There we go. And the VDB is moaning about something as well. What's it saying? No mesh to convert. Okay. A from B. There we go. Fine. And then that should stop moaning at me. Okay, right. This is so low drama in other software. Is the juice worth the squeeze? I do know ultimately the juice is worth the squeeze with Houdini, but it's still like, you know, a lot of work. A lot of work. So, is this workflow even a goer? So I need to figure out how to do what. So, like hypothetically, right? What I could if I go back up to here, I could. Let's just do this. I could just like keep insetting this more and more and more, right? So, is there like a loop? Actually, loop? No. For loop with feedback. Ah, what's this do? Oh, hello. So if I do well, that, is that a thing? And if I can go like this, and I can get this from here, and then that can be like the output, and I can say, is this how this works? Start value, iterations, whatever, and then I don't know how this works, but that'd be fun. So can I select what I want to do each time, right? So really it should be like whatever this does, right? Whatever the is it a case of like whatever the content of this is, right? This node, do what the node does X number of times, iterate until it's done, spit out the result. Right? So if I said inset by 0.035, should it just do inset 0.035 10 times? Whatever it says I'm doing here. There we go. Iterations, start value, increment. Right. So yeah, 10 iterations. Feedback, merge each iteration. Stop condition, stop attributes. So max iterations 10. Fuck knows how that works. What would be the right way of doing this? I know there's like 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? But also, it's the concept of having loops does excite me in modeling operations. So if you're not familiar with Houdini, and I am by no means an expert, thus this stream, what we're doing now is SOPs. So this is surface ops. they give everything a cringe name like that. So like we're inside the geometry graph. So come to here, we're in like the object graph, and we're inside one geometry object. So let's pretend to go into it, and then I'm working inside here, and they call this context SOPs, and each one of these is a different node graph with different nodes. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to Google that actually. So if you Houdini for loop, looping in geometry networks. There we go. Is there a while loop? Because really, is that like whatever while? No, there isn't. That'd be cool, right? Because yeah, really, like this is the wrong kind of. If you, this is code shit. Houdini typically processes nodes in geometry networks from top to bottom, feeding the output of each node into the input of the next node. All the way down, the node display render flag turned on. Yes. However, there are times when it's useful to run the same chain of nodes multiple times in a loop. Yes. You want to process the input geometry over and over again. For example, you want to add multiple layers of noise or create complex procedural job. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I want to do. In the network editor, press tab, select for loop with feedback. So what have I got? I've got a for loop with feedback. Let's undo this. Actually, I can get rid of my. I don't need to bother with that. I can redo my. Actually, we're not made any progress here. Let's just get rid of all of this for now. Let's focus on the problem at hand. So I've got my tube. Let's just go back into. No, let's leave it in wireframe ghost, and then we'll just do for loop with feedback. Okay, drag that in there, right? And then what I'll do is I'll do a is it extrude, poly extrude, wham that in the middle, right? And then when you inset, let's do this. Inset of, let's just grab my group, grab that, press enter. Right, so there's my extrude. So what I'll be saying is do that n number of times. Okay. And then increment, yeah, so start by 1, increment of 1, max iterations 10. So really, that's kind of what I hit at, right? Is like, that's what that. So, this creates a block begin and block end, block begin, block end, SOP. There we go. Surface op node that are wired together. Block begin SOP has its method parameter set to fetch feedback. It doesn't, but okay. Select the block end SOP and set its max iterations parameter the number of times you want to run the loop. I have done that. So max iterations is 10. Iteration 10. So iteration 1, 2. Okay, so 0, 1, 2. Okay, yeah, so we can see, okay, this shows iteration, max iterations 10. Let's make this 3. Okay, and then this should work. If this does work, I'll be extremely happy because this is a very fun way to work. It has this method parameter set to fetch feedback. So it's not. It's saying iteration method, gather method, merge use iteration. Yeah, I get to see. Okay, so feedback iteration 1, iterations 1, start. So yeah, I should be able to get up to 3, and that should repeat each time shortly. Right, let's carry on reading. That's fine. Connect the geometry you want to process the input. So box, fetch feedback. This is literally what I'm doing. Poly extrude. Yes. And then, yeah, that's precisely what I'm doing. So why is that not doing it? In this type of loop, the output loop becomes the input for the next loop. So that should be, if that's how that works, this is fucking awesome. So so I'm doing for loop with feedback. That's what I had. It's definitely that. Yeah, and it should just repeat the thing over and over again. And this is not set to, fetch feedback. Okay. So why isn't that working then? Piecewise for each loop. Pieces use a series of primitives that have a piece or name attribute. Several Houdini tools automatic creates type. Okay, right. So that's looping over chunks, and that's an attribute. So attributes are sort of like arbitrary data you can attach to things created by nodes, right? Oh, I'd have to bake it. I shouldn't have to. So for loop with feedback, got that. Network editor, here we go. The block method has a method parameter fetch feedback. Means after the first loop, each subsequent loop will start the output of the previous loop. That's what I want. Select the. Oh wait, is that because? Aha. So that will try and do it on the same. Okay. Because I've got a selection here, right? I think that's why it's not working. So if I'd done, let's change that to, so right, I've made a selection here. So if I come to here, I've got a group. So I've selected polygon 0 to 1, so top and bottom, right? So when it's going through, it's saying do it again, but it's doing it on the same, although, yeah, because then the inner polygons here will not have the same numbers anymore, will they? Can we show those? I think we can. Viewport layout, no, that's not it. Shading, no. Viewport, no. How do I show the numbers? I want to show numbers. How do I do that? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, if I do something simpler, so where I've got a polygon selection, it's just doing that again and maybe hitching up, right? So delete that. And so I'll do a transform, right? Transform, drag that in. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll grab this and I'll do this, yeah? And then it should transform by that amount that many times. So if I go back into here and change my iterations, it will keep going. There we go. And if I do iterations 10, like that, it will do this 10 times. So that doesn't solve my problem because it will... yeah, because I've got a polygon selection. So I mean that's like not the right use for that tool. It's extremely cool I can do that. I do like that an awful lot, but that's not the right tool. So should we just Google, right? Tube end caps. Houdini tube end caps. Yeah. So parameters, orientation, end cap turned on, creates end caps on the tube. Okay, that tells you nothing. So it doesn't. It'd be interesting if I could like go into the caps and then like modify the caps. So can I actually? Is there like a what's the right way to do this? We are 53 minutes in, and I have not yet successfully put a dent in the bottom of a tube. This is extremely... okay, right, so subdivide. That's probably the right way to phrase that. Spline cap geometry node. There's no caps. There's no caps mesh to extend the mesh. Okay. Cap. It's spline cap. Right. Okay. Turn off my caps. Get rid of them. We're done with you. We don't need you no more. Go into here and we'll do smooth shaded. Does that have caps? I don't know. Oh, it does. Hang on. Does it? No. Okay. Does it have to be NURBS? Let's just do it. Polygon, NURBS. Right. Okay, do this. No caps, do this, caps. Right. So if I do it in NURBS, it works. But then if I change this back to geometry, I have to then convert it back to geometry to make it divisions. Ah ha 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 ha. So if I do this, it does work. I don't really do NURBS stuff. So it doesn't show me anything in the cap. The division's 13, right? So let's just do this like 22, and then we do convert, convert. Right, there we go, and then that. Okay, and then look at this, and then we've got nothing. Okay, smooth shade. Yeah, we've got. Yeah, we don't read it. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, no, yeah. This is hilarious. I'm so bad at this. This example contains different variations on how to cap a tube. Load. Cap tube. Okay, so spline cap. Okay. So if we go under help, and then examples, load. Oh, hello. Whoa. Okay, mesh. Oh, God. This object contains 4 capped NURBS. I mean, it's good that the documentation is good. Look at the normals on that motherfucker. That's horrible. Let's go this mesh here. So let's go mesh tubes. Get that out of the way. Mesh tubes. Cap faceted. Which one? That's you. Where's my? Let's go back out to here. Let's just not turn that on. Let's go back into here. Right. So mesh tubes, cap faceted. That's going to be transform to position. And then we've got our mesh tube, cap faceted. What do you look like? Let's look at you. Wireframe ghosted. No. Right. That's the one we want. Him. Cap shard. Grab that. Select this. Cannot do this. There we go. All right. Fine. Fuck me then, I guess. Cap faceted is this guy. Is that guy? No. Cap tangential. Just the scale and division parameters while viewing in wireframe mode. Okay. Adjust the scale and divisions. So scale. Okay, divisions. That's not what I wanted. Oh no, yes. Aha. Right. Oh. U caps, V caps. Right. Okay. Maybe it's also because I know fucking nothing about NURBS, which definitely doesn't help. Scale? That doesn't do shit. So what does that do? End cap tangential, end cap faceted, last U cap. Okay. All right. Oh no, I'm being a moron. Right. So there we go. That's how you do that. Needlessly complicated, but whatever. This font stop is used to do stuff and things and stuff. Right. So up. Delete that shit. Thank you very much, Houdini Documents. That's actually quite good of you to demonstrate that, but also fuck you, Houdini Documents. You made that very, very complicated. So we're working in NURBS. And this is the thing, right? I'm like a product designy guy, right? So that is in NURBS. Connectivity quads, call cap, and then we do end cap, tangential, scale. I mean, why is that scale 0? Scale no 1, 10, 1. So that's the thing that's also confusing. Why is there a scale attached to this? Like, you know, divisions 3. What are we looking at here? I'm so confused. Yeah, because it doesn't really end. So like, there's so many things you could do. Okay, yeah, there's so many things. That's so annoying. Why would you want to do that? So I scale 0. It doesn't just, it just disappears, right? It just breaks. Why does it break? A tangential cap is not possible with this topology. A rounded cap with scale 0 may be equivalent. Right, so end cap rounded. I mean, yeah, I get it. But yeah, so there's things you can do, right? There's UXy things you can do. So like, let's say if I convert this from NURBS to a different thing. So primitive, it should, you can do something like change the color of the line or show something on the node to say what it's outputting as, but it doesn't. It's incredibly annoying. So you just have to know their NURBS. It's unnecessarily obtuse. So let's change this to and capture tangential and make the scale 0.01. and then go here and scale 0.01. Because yeah, these just aren't very friendly tools. I know it's power over artist friendliness, but come on, there's limits. So, because also, yeah, the cap faceted. Why is that not scale 1? Let's just undo until I go back to our examples. Let's explore that a little bit. I was a little bit too hasty in deleting that. There we go. So that's not there. Come back out. So we've got wireframe ghost. Yeah, so we've got NURBS, and then we've got Bezier, and then going to here, and then we've got I've broken it. Cool. Is that the only way to do this? I'd rather do it on the geometry. Like, I guess there's a way to do it, which is nice and flexible. But is there a way to do this where it's like, yeah, so yeah, I guess I could quite like control the caps. So hang on, look. How to quad cap 2016. Divide. Aha. Is that the one? Get rid of that. Get in the bin. Get rid of the cap. Divide. Is that a thing? R. Turn the caps back on. End caps. Is that going to do anything? No. Smooth shade. Oh, it's NURBS. Okay, primitive. No. Polygon. Right. Wireframe. Okay. It's just really shit geometry, isn't it? So divide. Can we convex polygons? What does that do? Bricker. Smooth. That's weird. Convex. Don't know what that does. Minimum edge is 4. Okay, there we go. So that'll just turn it into just quads, right? Okay. And then I don't want it just to be stripes. I want it in both directions, really. Like actual regular bricker. What does that even mean? Maybe. So minimum edges to 4 create quad strips, not squarish quads like example image. Divide top turn on bricker polygons, set the scale down to get divisions you want. It's essentially world space divisions that won't track the surface nor try and match new points and existing points. Skin swap's probably the best way. Then okay, on standard geo because yeah. So if we just do bricker and then size, just turn that down. I don't know how you would. Don't know what you'd do there. Oh, I think I keep thinking Mac OS. Yeah, turn on bricker polygon, set the scale down to get the divisions you want, but essentially a world space division. Okay, so right, that kind of makes sense. So if we just do bricker and then we just do 0.1, yeah, 0.1, 0.1. It's like yeah, that's not amazing. So okay, it's like yeah, it's like a big sort of like I can't remember the name of it. Use your words, big slicey boy. So do 0.5, that'll work. No, 0.0. That's not fucking. Thank you. I mean, it's not a. Okay, we'll have fun then. Pretending you're a fucking thing. And then this one is going to be like that. There we go. And then that does work, but that's not pretty, is it? So let's do skin. I mean, we made loads of progress. Oh, that's not good, is it? Okay. Skin, groups of primitive. Skip any. That's also not good. Uh, that's bad. I mean, this might work for. Oh, Rose. Okay, this is also quite bad. So this is a slightly better version of this, but this is still shit, right? This is still bad. Uh, clip sops. By splitting the tube into the sides, the cap starting with a circle. As long as the initial cap is an even number of dissolves at any other edges. This is just this is like what puts me off for modeling. Like I think if I were to start using Houdini, I probably wouldn't do much modeling in Houdini, but because we've got a lot of like trade-offs here, right? Like there's a bunch of different. Well, I mean that's not what I want, but that's fun. Um, we've got a load of trade-offs here. Um, what's that? Where's this from? Let's just look at this. There's a page. Cross-section surface geometry node. Okay. Cross-section surface. Cross-section surface. Don't know what that means. Oh, procedural modeling in here is anus. And not to say I want to give up. That's the thing, right? And this is the thing that makes it so confusing. Like this is not, and again, this is not me really complaining. Like I complain a lot about sometimes what software does, but they can make these things a little bit easier. And if there's like a bunch of utility like nodes anyway, they could do some like baby mode nodes, you know, like ones that make your life a little bit easier. Because like right now this is not a great solution because I'm just doing, I can't remember the name of it, like an axis slice type thing, like julienning the whole fucking thing, which is not amazing. So if I turn off, got to here, I turn off Bricker Polygon. Yeah, avoid small angles, smooth polygons. That's a weird thing. That, I mean, let's think about it, right? So if I get a sphere, it's all hyper specific, and I go into this and I just do a boolean. Okay, and just grab some this side. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, right, that's fine. And then if I make this a little bit smaller, so just do uniform scale down, and then we'll move it down this way. So it's like doing that. And we'll just flip this around. So it's like B from A. That will work, right? Because I have got some geometry, but that's not really the point. Because that solved the problem at hand. And also look at the quality of that. Awful, awful. That solved the, I mean, yeah, there's like really jank. So I could do like a subdivision here. But I don't think throwing more geometry at the problem, that doesn't fix it either. But throwing more geometry problems doesn't solve it. Because then, yeah, that would go into a polygon VDB. VDB poly. Yeah, that doesn't really solve the problem. So it's like down to 0.005. Because we're being sloppy, but we're not being that sloppy, right? We're still being like, do you know what I'm saying? What if it turns into a nerd? Will that actually, no, it won't. Of course it won't. So yeah, like the data handling, this could like, so my criticisms are, right, are with it, like I know what you can do with Houdini, right? And we are sweating some basics. In reality, I know a lot of people don't even model in Houdini, and if I were to adopt it, I still wouldn't, because today, if I do real modeling, I do that in Modo, right? So my workflow is I do most stuff in C4D, the modeling I still do in Modo, because the modeling's amazing in Modo. Because like if you look at what I've just done, with the exception of cutting the hole, I probably wouldn't do that with booleans because I want to do lazy models, right? I'm not modeling properly, all dead proper like. Um, if it loads and doesn't crash, which it could. Modo does like to crash. It's not responding. Right, main window. Yeah, so I would come up to here, go to create, go into here, do that, press 3, do that, press W, go down like that, right? And then I just do not even I just do B, does all the bevel tool, right? Press space, do that, and there we go. That bit is done, right? And then if I want to add loops here, for if I do want to do it, I'll just do, well, I could do B again, to be honest, because like tools in Modo are multifunctional, so you just do most of stuff with, honestly, so L, B, and then another loop here, L, B, there we go, wonderful. Oh, bugs. Oh, no. And then you get a situation where there's bugs. Anyway, and if I had more geometry into here, I'd go like this, grab this, do B, bring this in for any, a little bit of extra geo for whatever I might need it for. And I'll do this, and I go to polygon, and I'll just do quadruple. That should work. Or triple. Oh, quadruple should have done it. Well, anyway, I can do this, boo-doo, and then I can just do make. Oops, no, I can do, what was it again? It's make with. Oh, I can't remember using my own month either. There's like a make with quads or whatever. Actually, that really should have. Really, that should have actually done it. Oh well. Right, anyway, getting distracted. Point is. Oh no, wait, hang on. No, it's under geometry, polygon. What would it be? I think it's like make. There we go. Make faces. Oh, hang on. Geometry. Why have I forgotten this? Polygon. Make new type faces. Oh, it should be. Hang on. I'm going crazy here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, this is not very useful. Split. What is it under? This is where this gets a bit mad because, like, I could do join average. That'd also work, right? Oh, I could do join. Boop, boop. Oh, it should. Wow, bugs. Not fucking not ideal. Anyway, forget that. Let's close it down. Part of the problem with being dead software is the things I've just forgotten. Without a user base, how do I remember them? And without the documents being live, how do I remember them? And there's like there's a Discord full of old Modo users. But yeah, if the product's dead, the product's dead. And like, yeah. Right. Let's solve this problem, because then that's just cross section. That's not ideal. So quads cap tube Houdini. That's Maya. Try and get that qualify n-gons. There we go. 9 years ago. Brilliant. Yeah. Lovely. And they go to divide. No, not divide. No. No, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. Oh my god. Okay, well. Am I being too puritanical here? I might be. Am I letting polysplit? Yeah. That's manual. So you have to think more about how you keep it procedural the entire time, right? Is that the only way? That's not great though, is it? I I mean, I've got several options. Here we go. That's Blender. Right. Anyway, fuck it. Fuck it. Um. So yeah, what I'm doing is working, to be honest. So we can do that. I wish I had Cinema 4D in a working state. Because this is profoundly easy. Actually, while I'm here, it's another way I can do exactly the same work. I never got into Mesh Fusion in Modo. I wear that in an hour and 15 minutes, I've gotten as far as nowhere. But yeah, I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist here. But the thing is, it's not so much about perfectionist. I don't want to be like, I can make, if I wanted to just like have a 3D model, I could do this in a billion different ways. The point is to learn, right? Like, the best place to make stuff like this, if you're not doing it this style, it's probably like plasticity, you know, because it's like CAD style. You're doing CAD style models, do it in a CAD app, explode, you know. Again, we don't actually care about the geometry in this one. It's not getting animated. It's not bending. It's not getting UV'd. So maybe I'm just being a little bit too much of a princess about this. Is motor even opening? Whatever. So yeah. So what we've done so far is the workflow is probably that divide has worked. Go into my sphere and then let's. I don't know how spheres work. If I did this just with nodes, well, not nodes, with would that work? That's blatantly not how that works. So if I do like a tube, right? Tube, polygon, whatever. Change polygon to NURB, right? So NURB's tube, wonderful. And then if I just do, just put the caps on in NURBs, why not? And then I can't. Doesn't work, does it? Doesn't work like that. I don't know anything about NURBs, so don't laugh at me. I think I'd like did NURBs like in Rhino once, like a billion fucking years ago. And then Boolean. That's not gonna work, is it? Oh, yeah, you can just do. All right, fine. So you can do that, and this isn't gonna work. And then that's gonna be. Oops. Did it? But because that's blatantly not how NURBS works. But the real question is though, right? Let's do this. Where is my sphere? What? -1. All right. But then yeah, if I'd have to do a convert, right? So so yeah, one way to do this would be the cleanest way to do what I want to do is doing it in NURBS and then converting them into, so doing the cap thing, right? So turning off the end caps, then I go into here. I don't remember the NURBS and do n, just do like cap, what was it called? Spline cap. Oh, polycap. Polycap? Hold on. No, polyfuzz. Hold on. So change this back to polygon and do polycap. Polycap. What does that do? Boop. Pow. That does do the thing. Let's just look at this in wireframe, right? So no. I'm certain. Wait. Polycap. Is that a type of polyfill? Can we go in here? Is there things in here? Anyway. A single polygon, no. Quadrilaterals, no. Oh, grid. Oh. Well. Bugger my ostrich. That's fantastic. So quadrilaterals, and we just do quadrilateral fan. That's what we fucking want. Okay, good. So corner offset, what does that do? Don't know. If I do this though, and I come to here and I just set my columns to whatever, big number, 28. Right, it has to be obviously equal, so that won't work. Come back into here, polyfill, and then what am I doing? Quadrilateral fan, triangle fan, triangles. That's not ideal, but then quadrilaterals grid. That's exactly what I want. It's got a bit of a bow to it, which is weird. Smooth. Is that? Okie dokie. So how do we stop this from tangent strength 0? Okay. Okay. I've gone very quickly from being extremely annoyed to extremely happy. Cool. All right. That's how you do that. There's so much shit in Houdini, I haven't got a clue. Okay. But here's the thing, right, which is also quite fun, where if you don't know what you're doing, obviously I don't fucking have a clue, we can learn. So now I can do this. Whoop, for my cappy boy, my cappy thing. And then what we'll do is do a boolean, like that. Grab this, wham it in there, grab that, wham that in there. Inside here, we'll do a transform, put that in there. And then what we'll do is we'll just do scale like that. But actually, what we'll do is turn the boolean on. And then we'll just do uniform scale down a little bit. There we go. And then that scale needs to go up. And then that needs to come down a little bit. And then this translate needs to go up like that. Let's just turn this back into smooth shaded just so I can see it. I wish you could... How can you make it so you can see this in the viewport? So transform, let's put it back to 0. 0. Okay. And then we'll just there we go. Okie dokie. So show all objects, show you it's ghosted. Oh, that'd be so useful. It's got mat caps now. The mat caps work in this. That's fine. Anyway, right. So there we go. We've got that. Let's go back into wireframe ghost. We can see. There we go. That's not quite right. Let's just do this like that. Okay. Lovely. That's actually looking really good. Cool. So, and that geometry is what we say in the industry. Good enough. So, columns, let's just do this one as 64, because again, the more geometry we've got for this VDB step, the better. And then we would do a just do subtract, boolean subtract, like that, and then we're going to here and just do sphere, polygons, do that. Okay, and then just do this so we can actually see what the fuck we're doing. That has worked. So we just do uniform scale, bring that down, and then center, we'll just bring that down a little bit. So that way, and it should be, it is cutting a hole. Cool. So yeah, we want to put a little nipple in here. Keep saying nipple. That's very, very odd. Let's do that. Oh, we haven't really got the 30 for that. Let's just do what we can do here is, again, this could be cursed as fuck. We could just do subdivide that. No, it's still bad. That's still very bad. Okay. Because this will be shitty geometry being subdivided. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay. That's fine. So what I could do is, because let's just do a divide. Divide. There we go. Wham that in there. Oh, there we go. Wham that in there. And 4. That. Oh, there you go. That's why. So is that doing anything? Is that doing anything? It's really not. Oh, that's better. Triangulate? That's fine. But then if it comes to Boolean, that might then be a little bit better. And lo and behold, it isn't. Well, anyway, what we can do here is just do this. So what we'll do is rows and columns. First thing we can do is rotate this to 90. Actually, no, probably that's a better way of doing it. Let's see if this. There we're just doing a cube and then making it a quad ball, right? So do a cube and then just do subdivide like that. Boop, turn that on. Right, excellent. Depth, that quad ball, make it 3, perfect. And then we just lob that into there and then that. Should be better. That should be better. So, and then we just do center, that's that, and then just do like that. Okay, and then we just subdivide a little more. So we just do like n. Yeah, there's not enough geometry. Oh god, that might crash it. There's not enough geometry to do this, right? So I need to add more here. So what's the right way to do that? Let's press escape, 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 escape. Okay, escape. There we go. Thank you. Oh, I love that weird little thing that if you use C4D or body, if you start a process which is like a bake or something which is processing in the background, you can't stop it. It just won't let you. Whereas I can press escape there and stop it from shitting itself. It's just like that's the weird thing about C4D is it's phenomenal in so many ways. It's so mature and so polished and so rock solid. And there's little UX problems and there's little like low-hanging fruit everywhere that sort of shouldn't be there, especially considering it being like the quote-unquote easy package. Things like that. Or the fact that the modeling tools are excellent, but the UX of them is fucking garbage. But they work extremely well. And it's all fast and all very, Anyway, so that felt like a little bit of a dumb idea on the face of it. So we'll go back into our divide, right? And then we'll just go back to wire. And I think what we need to do is we probably, in our divide, need to, don't do any slivers is probably a good idea. And then let's just do this again. Size 0.5. Okay, make it much smaller. 0.02. 0.02, 0.02, no, 0.02. Okay, we're just increasing geometry now. I know a minute ago. Oh, what's this? What's it saying? What's it saying? Cross boundary, unshared edges, and solid A. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, subdivide. Sub, because this is still a better way to do it. Subdivide, and then we just have to 3. There we go. Okay. It's not much better, is it? So what we'll do is our subdivide. Okay, let's just do 5. There we go. That's a bit better. That's almost going to be passable now, I think. But then, yeah, because if there's a way to do this directly, like, because I don't want to go through the steps of like turning. So in the volume builder inside C4D, right? What you can do is when you bring the objects in, it turns those into VDBs, right? But I don't want to drop down a VDB node for each one of these, and is that less polygon soup? What the fuck is polygon soup? Primitive polygon. VDB. Is there a VDB shape? VDB geometry? Sphere? VDB spheres. Yeah, because you don't want to like have to drop down a shitload of nodes, right, to do this, because it makes it slower. Because that's the thing you lose, right? And part of the thing I'm trying to really understand here is like I can figure out all this eventually, but like how do I do this in such a way that's also the most like not efficient, that's not the right way of thinking about it, but like reduce the slowness as much as possible, right? So if we just do, is it under volume? What is this under? Deform dynamics, curves, edges, implicit surfaces, packed primitives. So is there? Can I just make like SDF? What am I supposed to search for SDF? SDF, volume SDF, volume noise SDF, VDB reshape SDF. Okay, so yeah, because I could if I did like VDB merge, right? That should be a thing. Merge, yeah, VDB merge, right? So there's another way of doing this. Has come up. Let's just do this. and we'll start over, right? So we'll just do a new geometry. Geometry. So this is one where I'm pretty sure I could do it, but I know I could do it already. So I just did VDB poly not VDF VDB poly VDB from polygons, and I did like a box right into there, yeah, and then I can do a different. So I can just like duplicate this whole thing over, right? And then I could just do VDB merge. In fact, this might be a better way of doing it. VDB merge, merge, and then it'd be cool if I could be like, oh, I can. Okay, so right, VDB operation. So if I just do, I'll make this one smaller. So we're going to the box, and we'll just do uniform scale like that, and then we'll just do center like that, right? VDB merge. It's supposed to be a union though. I'm not looking at it. Okay, so could I just do or intersect? Why can't I do subtract? Huh. Oh, well, because it's merge, isn't it? So if I did VDB SDF subtract, right? Get rid of that. So that'd be merging two shapes together. Do that. Do that. Oh. It'd be good if it's like a VDB primitives thing to save a bit of time. So it could just be like VDB cube. It's not as if they've got not enough fucking nodes, right? So if I do this, so if I just do collation, what? Yeah, so subtract. There we go. What the? What the? Ugh. Flannel A. Flat. Oh, I'm too stupid for this. No, we got so close. Right. So SDF union, that'll still work, right? So that'll merge the two together, which is what we want. But then SDF difference. I mean, that's okay. That's not as straightforward as I would like. So here we go. Independent. I've got independent independent resolutions for this. So 0, 5, but then I haven't got like a final. And this one's a lower resolution VDB. That's odd. So I do this, and I just do 0, 0, 3. That'll then, yeah, that leaves me in this situation. And then I can do converts, and turns back into polygons, and I can do a quad remesh, quad remesh, and then do that, and then yeah, just set that visible, give that a second, cooking, and then we go to here, and then we just do wireframe ghost, and there we go. Right, okay, that works. I think my problem is like because you don't have the Z remesh, so. The one thing is that does get me about this. This is another way of doing it. It's probably a better way of doing it. Yeah, we can change that out for like a sphere. There we go. There we go. We've got our little sphere inside our what's happening here? There we go. Probably better if I that. Oh yeah, of course. I'm just doing it straight into bloody VDB, and I. Right. So there we go. Got a hole. Perfect. Okie dokie, and then we'll just change that from rows 32, columns 64. Yeah, and then we can do stuff like we can do like VDB smooth. Like that. And then go to here. And yeah, we've actually got, you know, a pretty nice little thing. So, and then we do quad remesher, and then what happens? Let's just do regular remesh. Bad. Not bad, not good, poopy bad. Yeah. So yeah, because the remeshes both kind of suck ass actually. If yeah, so yeah, if this is brought if you brought this into I think there's some complexity to getting this working in Houdini. I think let's bring you from scale down a little bit, so we just do that. And because also like we want another part of what we want this to be is quick, right? So we're doing something quite heavy here, I guess. So, but then also we can do this, right? We can go back up to here, change this back into smooth shaded, and this should run a bit quicker. There we go. There you go. Perfect. Um, VDB smooth. Excellent. Groups. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Anyway, get that. So yeah, VDB smooth. Get rid of that. Whoop. I am got to go have some dinner in a minute, but I'm a little bit on the fence. That looks all right actually. That looks surprisingly decent. We've got a bunch of like VDB based artifact things here, but on small details that doesn't really matter. And also like, I wonder what happened if we just like did this a bunch more. So I think, hang on, and let's just do Houdini VDB shapes. So there's a thing in Octane, because you can actually sort of do the sort of thing in Octane directly, right? It's got SDFs in the render viewport, right? And because they're not actual geometry, there's nothing to copy, and it happens at render time. It means it's insanely fast. I'm trying to remember the name of the feature. VDB geometry, because I wouldn't VDB geometry node. Is this a thing? Wait, if I go up, can I do VDB? Wait, VDB VOP volume ops, I guess, and then operators. Oh, fuck knows what any of that means. I have no idea what that could even be. Okay, get rid of that. Okay. Creates one or more empty uniform VDB volume primitives. That's what I want. Nodes, geometry nodes. Right, so whether to create this VDB or not, class, fog volume, level sets, name, storage type precision, visualization, display mode. Okay, so this is for making like the sort of things you probably should maybe have VDBs, right? Like smoke blobs and shit. VDB clip. I mean, this is so good. Look at all this. This is insane. This is where like it gets so. I mean, look at that. Banana, isn't it? VDB to spheres. Yeah. So there's no like VDB geometry primitive. I mean, that's not necessarily reasonable, but it'd be cool. Modeling Houdini using VDB SDF volumes. This is what I want to be doing right now. Ah, model of Houdini. Do I just buy this? It's not very much money. VDB from polygons. So the file contains examples of following nodes and operators. VDB from polygons, convert polygon. Yeah, that's what we're doing. VDB smooth SDF. That's also what we're doing. VDB sample. Yep. To change voxel density to increase object surface detail. VDB combined. Boolean operations. S union difference. Intersection. Reshape SDF to expand or narrow voxel shapes so to peak. That's what we want as well. So that's like your is that your interpolation? I think so. Yep, VDB converts is exactly what we've just done. Volume deform void shapes using lattice from volume. Oh, hello. I didn't know you could do that. Name and attribute edit string. So so hang on. Increase voxel density only when necessary. Generally, I've used a voxel size of 002, which I think is about what I'm using. Let's go into GO1. Go to GO1, and then no, wrong one. GO2, and then this is 0005. So let's just do 0002. Because the bones of Houdini are so insane. You know what? You know what? Is there like a... Oh, I've got to stop doing that. I keep thinking I'm on a fucking Mac. I'm not. Pressing Command Tab because I've got a Unix keyboard. So after operation, increase the voxel density through the VDB resample. So yeah, increase voxel density only when necessary. Generally use voxel size of 002, which is fine. I've noticed so far, compared to doing this in C4D, that this seems to not... Like, you'd have to fuck about with the density as much in C4D for whatever reason. After all operations, you increase the voxel density through a VDB resample to get a denser, more detailed polygonal mesh from Convert VDB. Okay. Use different smoothing modes to maintain performance. Instead of increasing the number of smoothing iterations in VDB Smooth SDF, try changing operation type mean value for normal smoothing, Gaussian for strong, mean curvature flow for weak smoothing, or smooth small details. That's quite cool. You just place one object inside another, for example, a button in housing, VDB reshape SDF to expand the SDF before boolean subtraction. Don't understand. That's worry about colour. Notes on modelling and SOPs within LOPs. You've always got to remember your SOPs and LOPs. I don't know what LOPs are. To improve performance, prevent SOPs from constantly transferring data to LOPs. I think layout ops, I think. To place the output node from inside the SOP and from that geometry to... I'm fucking lost now. Use the video as a reference for the model. So... But is there, for Modeler for Houdini, which I'm interested in trying, because it might be less arse. I don't want to bother with that Discord invite. I don't want to go into your stupid Discord. Close that down. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So he's saying do that at the end. So he's saying do that at the end, go back into here, and then we do, what is the name of it again? It's called a oh fuck's sake. It's called a VDB resample, right? Get rid of that convert. Tell you what, the converter's doing a good job. It's doing a good job. And then if we do VDB smooth, let's just turn that on, and then we do a VDB resample. I guess. Ooh. What's this? Reference. Okay, no, so explicitly. No, don't do that. Scale. No, oh, got to get out of the habit of doing that. Back in here. So he's saying change voxel density to increase. How? Interpolation. Voxel size. Yeah, nearest. Using voxel size only. There we go. Voxel size 0.004. Give that a second to bake. Oh, he's got a point, actually. You can do that separately. And then if you go back into convert, might take a second. That actually looks worse. Okay, and then if you go back into wireframe, let's feed this into a quad remesh. Quad remesh. Drag that into there. Wham that on. Did a good job. Not an especially good job. Yeah, I wish I could show you side by side in C4D. Maybe a good example of this the workflow. So yeah, this is where like I get like a little bit conflicted, right? Because like I will always be slower. And there's cases where you take the pain to model things like procedurally, but actually, because I've only ever really used Houdini for like dynamic stuff, right? Um, yeah. So what I might do actually, because this is too annoying, to be honest. It's not too annoying. I think getting better would be good. What I might do is model it elsewhere, and then bring it in, and then jump ahead to the rendering part. You know, could do that. Anyway, I'm going to sack off this for now. I hope that someone watching's had fun watching this. I've learned stuff. I was about to say I've learned nothing. I haven't learned nothing. I've learned plenty on this very obscure little workflow. Part of me actually sort of thinks what would it look like if I just did this like traditionally, you know, just sort of like actually just polymodeled it all in Houdini. Parts that'd be difficult because I have to add screw threads and stuff, which I don't like doing that kind of thing at the best of times because it's annoying as fuck. That's the kind of modeling work where I'm like, because I'm not a great modeler, I'm like a passable modeler, but I'm also very lazy, or I like to work smarter, not harder, if that makes sense. Which is why I like this workflow quite a lot. Because if you're not UVing something, the geometry doesn't need to. If you're not working games and you're not like, if it's not a highly detailed thing, you can sculpt a load of stuff. You can, you know, I don't care about the geometric density, so why not just, you know, just blag it. Just do it with booleans. Like I don't like traditional boolean stuff because of the quality of geometry at the end and how like whatever. But since SDFs and whatever become so prevalent, since then like I've eased up on it with that SDF step. Straight up like boolean modeling, hard surface boolean modeling workflow is always a little bit crap. But again, also if with modern computers and with how well no, because that's the thing, right? You get to like if I had hypothetically made something much more like comprehensive than this, then that end step of me quad remeshing would have meant that I'd still have a pretty reasonable amount of geometry because quad remesher, the true quad remesher, or aka Z remesher, is extremely good, and the one inside C4D is phenomenal. It's like the results are just outstanding. I don't know why. It's the same developer, so it's in like you can get there's a plugin for Blender. It's in Modo as well, actually. I don't know why it's not loading. It should do. It's in Modo as well. And it's never as good as the one inside ZBrush, and the one in ZBrush now, obviously, because Maxon bought ZBrush, is the one in C4D. But the same developer rewrote the same thing. I think got paid an absolute wedge by what would have Pixelogic back in the day, I guess, to like include it. There we go. And then we'll just do create, boop. Okay. Perfect. 5, grab that, boop. There we go. 3. I just love Modo. Just it's just the bestest. You know? It's just the most bestest. Beep. Where is Bridge though? I'm a bit rusty. Bridge. There we go. We just need one segment and then mode smooth. Actually, we did this properly. Get rid of that. Just do all this. But then also part of the problem with Modo is a lot of its best ideas in the base modeling stuff got robbed by the software. Which is problematic. But yeah, stuff like that. You can just recreate stuff. The tools are great. It's still like there's so much more to Modo than it's just its tools. This is not a Modo thing, but you know. Bridge. Boop. Lovely. We've made a bead. The one thing I never learned in Modo, which was point me to opening it, was mesh fusion. I mean, I do sort of know mesh fusion. So if I go into create, and I can just do create, and then go, I think you do fusion. There we go. Egypt, and then we just do fusion ready presets. Mesh fusion's a little bit, always felt a little bit janky to me. Felt like a bit of a halfway house. Another developer, let's just do this. So just do that. There we go, lovely. And then what I can do is they made it more complicated as well. So I just do this, and I can do like drag this onto here, and it should ask me what I want to do. And then this, just go to 5. I should. Actually, I'm not made new fusion. Yeah, see. New fusion. There we go. Fusion item. And then I think I do that, and I can like grab out one of these, and I drag it on. It should ask me. If I do this, if I just do like subtract, and then just do that, it should. There we go. And if I do, what is it? Select source meshes. No, I can't really fucking do this. Fusion item. Oh, it's gonna crash, isn't it? Oh, I didn't. Okay, default. Yeah, I think you can do this in nodes as well. But so if I go to this guy here, do that, I think, and then whatever. Do one of them. And the way, there we go, the way Mesh Fusion works is I can like change the sort of fusion around, fusion item, and then there we go. So what Mesh Fusion does is it creates this sort of geometry, and you can then, it creates these like strips, and you can edit the strips, change their width along their length. So if I just do like, I think I do this, 5, and whatever, it always felt like unfinished to me. Which is why I never really got into it. I've never really liked it. I love the idea of it, but it always felt half finished. And then convert to mesh item will like convert it into geometry, like real geometry, because mesh fusion is parametric. But you can do it. You can do mesh fusion in like a node graph as well if you are like that kind of person. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people swore by it. I just couldn't get into it. There's a lot of caveats with this. I mean, it creates nice sub D geometry at the end of it, or for the most part. So if I look at this and then like go into here, it's done this, right? But then what I can do is I can just do geometry. Use your mind. Let's do. Where is it? Whatever. Automatic retopology. Does that work? Did it bollocks? Yeah. It's about as good a job as it should be. We should be able to do geometry. Yeah, so adaptive, there we go. Quads only. And it's just never quite as good. So this is quad remesher. But it's never quite as good. It's never quite as good. That's actually really shit. But it works amazing in C4D, but the workflow is not as good. So yeah, you can do in like Boolean workflow in Modo is not amazing because Modo is not really for. I mean, you can. Modo is mostly about subdivision surfaces, and modeling like properly quickly. But it has got like procedural modeling as well, which I also didn't really get into. So we go to, let's just add a new. Yes, add a sphere, and if I go to add item, I can do. I think it's underneath model. Should be there in the model workspace. It's not. So if I just do, what's this? Yeah, there we go. This now, I think, there we go. So add operator, and then, yeah, there we go. So I've got like, let's do bevel. Bevel, or was it selection? No, it's bevel, isn't it? Bevel, bevel, polygon bevel, there we go. And then we set a selection. So I just do selection, add selection, go into here, and then yeah, add select. I think it's like add Is that add selection? What was it? Select by no, it's like select. Was it select? Selection operator polygon. There we go. And I'll do that. I think that should do it. I think. And then if I go into the actual bevel itself, it should. Okay, I've got like a bunch of stuff. Blend mode. So I'll just do selection. Again, I don't know how this fucking works. Get rid of that. Add selection. Whatever. Do that. Oh, I don't remember how this fucking works. Anyway, but again, that's part of the problem because I will if this knowledge is lost and I do not know. Yeah, Modo's a little bit of like there's degrees to which it's not old school. It's just like it's got amazing. It's like one of those ones where it's like it was destined to die. Like there's so many great ideas, but like the whole thing has never, as much as I love it, never coalesced into a full package. It's just like it's like Lightwave or Softimage, right? Where it's like you can see why it didn't make it, but it's still sad. Anyway, I am probably gonna just model this part somewhere else, or I might off camera go and do this again in Houdini, which is kind of what I want to